Prince Henry, later known as Henry VIII, was born on June 28, 1491, at Greenwich Palace. His birth was a moment of great joy and hope for the Tudor dynasty. As the second son of Henry VII and Elizabeth of York, Henry was not initially destined for the throne. However, fate had other plans for him, and his journey from a carefree prince to a formidable king would shape the future of England in profound ways. Henry's early years were marked by privilege and rigorous education. His upbringing was overseen by his mother, Elizabeth of York, and a series of esteemed tutors who provided him with a comprehensive education befitting a prince. He was taught Latin, French, and Italian, and received instruction in theology, philosophy, and classical literature. Henry's intellect and curiosity made him an apt pupil, and he quickly excelled in his studies. From a young age, Henry displayed a love for music, sports, and the arts. He learned to play various musical instruments, including the lute and the harp, and he enjoyed composing his own pieces. His athletic prowess was evident in his enthusiasm for hunting, jousting, and archery. These activities not only honed his physical skills, but also instilled in him a sense of chivalry and the ideals of the Renaissance. Henry's elder brother, Arthur, Prince of Wales, was groomed to inherit the throne. Arthur's marriage to Catherine of Aragon, the daughter of King Ferdinand and Queen Isabella of Spain, was a significant political alliance that strengthened England's ties with Spain. Henry, on the other hand, was destined for a career in the church, a common path for younger sons of royalty. The course of Henry's life changed dramatically in 1502 with the sudden death of his brother Arthur. At the age of 15, Arthur succumbed to an illness, leaving the Tudor dynasty without a clear heir. Henry, at the tender age of 10, was thrust into the role of the Prince of Wales and the future king. This unexpected turn of events brought with it immense pressure and responsibility. Henry's new status as the heir to the throne required a shift in his education and training. He was now prepared for kingship, receiving instruction in statecraft, governance, and military leadership. His father's cautious and pragmatic approach to ruling served as a model. But young Henry also harbored a desire to forge his own path and leave his mark on history. Henry VII's death in 1509 marked the end of a significant chapter in English history and the beginning of a new era. At the age of 17, Henry ascended the throne as Henry VIII. His coronation was a grand affair, filled with pageantry and celebration. The young king's charisma and vigor captivated the nation, and there was a palpable sense of optimism and renewal. One of Henry's first acts as king was to marry Catherine of Aragon, his brother's widow. The marriage required a papal dispensation due to its consanguinity, which was granted by Pope Julius II. The union with Catherine was both a personal and political decision. It solidified the alliance with Spain and brought a measure of stability to the new reign. Henry VIII's early reign was marked by a series of reforms aimed at consolidating his power and modernizing the administration. He surrounded himself with talented advisors, including Thomas Wolsey, who would become one of his most trusted and influential ministers. Wolsey's rise to power was meteoric, and his administrative acumen helped streamline the functions of the government. Henry's court was a reflection of his personality and interests. It was a vibrant center of culture, intellectual discourse, and entertainment. The king's patronage of the arts led to the flourishing of music, literature, and architecture. He commissioned grand buildings, including the expansion of Hampton Court Palace, and his interest in the Renaissance ideals influenced the cultural landscape of England. Henry VIII was deeply influenced by the Renaissance, a cultural movement that emphasized the revival of classical learning and the pursuit of knowledge. He saw himself as a Renaissance prince, embodying the qualities of a scholar, warrior, and patron of the arts. His court became a gathering place for scholars, artists, and thinkers from across Europe. Henry's own intellectual pursuits were diverse. He wrote treatises on theology, composed music, and engaged in debates with leading scholars of the time. His work Assertio Septem Sacramentorum, Defense of the Seven Sacraments, written in 1521, earned him the title Defender of the Faith from Pope Leo X. This recognition highlighted Henry's commitment to the Catholic Church, a stance that would later undergo a dramatic transformation. The king's love for chivalry and the ideals of knighthood were evident in the numerous tournaments and jousts held at court. These events were not only displays of martial skill, but also opportunities for nobles to gain favor and demonstrate their loyalty. Henry himself participated in these tournaments, showcasing his physical prowess and reinforcing his image as a warrior king. Despite the initial harmony in his marriage to Catherine of Aragon, the lack of a male heir became a source of increasing frustration for Henry. Catherine had given birth to several children, but only their daughter, Mary, survived infancy. The absence of a male successor raised concerns about the stability of the Tudor dynasty and the future of England. Henry's personal struggles were compounded by his growing infatuation with Anne Boleyn, a lady-in-waiting at court. Anne's charm, intelligence, and refusal to become his mistress ignited Henry's desire to marry her. This desire set in motion a series of events that would lead to the English Reformation and a profound transformation of the religious and political landscape. As Henry VIII's reign progressed, the king's determination to secure a male heir and his passion for Anne Boleyn would bring about a seismic shift in English history. The break with the Roman Catholic Church, the establishment of the Church of England, and the dissolution of the monasteries were just some of the dramatic changes that would define his legacy. Henry's early reign, characterized by youthful vigor, intellectual pursuits, and cultural patronage, laid the groundwork for the tumultuous and transformative period that followed. The Golden Prince had become a formidable king, whose actions would resonate through the centuries and shape the course of a nation. Anne's daughter, Elizabeth, would go on to become one of England's greatest monarchs, proving that her mother's legacy endured despite the tragic end. Henry's quest for a male heir and his tumultuous marriages highlighted the complexities of his character, a king driven by desire, ambition, and the relentless pursuit of legacy.